People use Tinder. What's the craziest hookup story? I met a kindergarten teacher on Tinder. We hit it off in text. But she lives an hour and a half across town, so she asks if I want to meet up in her part of town that weekend for a movie and signs off the conversation with a sexy tit pic. God bless teachers. I am so getting laid. As the weekend approaches, things get more sexual, and I ask if she has any fantasies she has ever wanted to try. She tells me she has always wanted to fuck in a movie theater. Well, seeing as we already have a movie date planned, I tell her I am down for anything. She responds with another nude. Pacific. Kinky. This is going to be fucking awesome. The weekend arrives and I road trip across town, guzzling Baja Blast and jamming pump-up tunes, fighting shitty traffic. Nothing gets me down because this is going to be legendary. I meet up with her at the mall and she does a slow crawl drive, ensuring I'm not catfishing her and I'm not a psycho. Pass her test and climb into her SUV. She is decked to the nines in slutty heels, a skirt and leggings and deep cleavage top. She wants it. She lays out the plan for me. She has the perfect theater in mind, the town over where no one will recognize her in the off chance things go south. We get to the theater in bumfuck nowhere, not my part of town. I am in unknown territory. She says she picked this theater because it's hardly ever crowded and always really dark. So we shouldn't have any problems fooling around incognito. Little does she know, when we arrive, the theater has turned into a fucking megaplex in the 5 years since she was last there. IMAX screens, boutique ice cream stand inside, and another 2 floors added. And packed. Bumfuck nowhere likes its movies. We go up to buy tickets at the box office. She is panicking. I think fast and run the list of movies through my head that are playing. What would a very few people was showing ASAP and give us the best chance to mess around without getting caught? Rio 2? No. Dick flashing children is bad. Noah? Too biblical. What's left? Brick Mansion. Luke Besson flick Hollywoodized. B.C. great action movie no one has heard of, starring Paul Walker. Perfect. She buys the tickets, gives me a wink, and we head to the theater. We get inside and head to the second to last row and sit in the first 2 seats. 6 other couples in the theater. All in the bottom rows except 2 brothers on the far side of the theater in our row. 10 minutes to show time. We got this. Time crawls as we anxiously glare at every couple entering. 2 more. Climbing up row after row, enter 2 below us. We breathe a sigh of relief. She reaches down and grabs my crotch. I look over and she gives me a shifty grin and a wink. It's on. The lights dim and the previews start to roll. 2 more people enter and start walking up to us. Fuck staccatos through my head as Optimus Prime blows shit up on screen. The couple hooks a quick left and sits down. Perfect. We quickly get up and move to the back of the last row in the theater and in from the aisle stairs, so we are alone in the very back of the theater. Coffin corner. She leans in and whispers, "This is making me so wet." See? She grabs my hand and puts it down the front of her leggings. Fucking soaked. I am rock hard. She kisses me hard on the mouth as Mark Wahlberg flexes underneath an American flag. It's only semi-dark in the theater at this point, but she says she can't wait. She is eyeing my bulge with intent to thrill. I whip off my belt like Indiana Jones and silently thank Michael Bay that the entire preview is explosions. Unzip my fly and she grabs my cock before I can even fully get my pants down. Like London Bridge falling down, she gulps my cock before I fully clear my briefs. And she starts going ham on my dick. I am leaning back surveying my kingdom and fully surreal that I am getting domed in the back of a movie theater. Midday. Half light. And she doesn't give a fuck. Awesome. She comes up for air and says, "I am gushing. This is so fucking hot." I nod and grin stupidly. She starts to jack me off. Unsatisfied with the amount of lubrication from her spit, she stares me dead in the eyes as she reaches between her thighs, under the leggings and scoops against her pussy and then grabs my cock. Speechless at this point, I gape at her as she starts to jack me off with the most natural/unnatural lube I've ever experienced during an HJ. Noticing my dumbfounded look, she smirks and replies, "Hope you don't mind, I had to improvise. Don't want you chafed for later." She continues to alternately suck, jerk, and juice scoop her pussy to bring me closer and closer to climax. I pulled down her top and started sucking on her tits. The previews wind down, but she is intent on the job at hand and doesn't notice. A loud slurp punctures the sudden silence before the movie begins and we both freeze. Her leaning over me, cock in mouth, while I'm staring down to see if anyone notices anything. Nothing. She slowly continues her trifecta of scoop, jerk, suck, repeat, taking me closer and closer to exploding. I'm thanking Hollywood for opening the movie with 15 minutes of machine guns and a screeching car chase, as she can't help match intensity and pace to the action scene she can't even see, just unconsciously bobbing her head and moving to the beat of a Mac 10. This is fucking awesome. She edges me closer and closer till right when I'm about to explode, Paul Walker emerges from cover and in a salvo of bullets shoots to kill as I explode, shooting my whole clip into her mouth, pace for pace with the movie. 4D never felt so immersive as I give a full gun salute to a fallen cinema hero's last movie. Vala Morgulis. All men must die. I've never felt more manly or American. I can't think of a better tribute. Until I see movement out of the corner of my eye and see the two frat brothers in the row below giving me a thumbs up from across the theater. Yes, I am the man. I send the thumbs up back. Mid-movie she wants more. I've been jellyfish for about 15 minutes. Post-gasm fog still shrouding my brain, so I can't comprehend fully the logistics she is whispering in my ear on how I can f*** her. I shake out of it and nut up. She moves in front of me, pulls down her leggings and tilts the back of her skirt over her ass. She's dripping. She reaches back for my D and wants it. Bad. I look around to check if the coast is clear. But at this point the wrong head is screaming fuck it. I proceed to fuck her doggy style over the back row of the seats as she barely attempts to stifle moans as I pound into her from behind. Machine guns continue, and honestly that's the only thing you can fucking hear. Unreal. This movie was perfect. I fuck her until she climaxes and she gushes all over my dick. Houston, we have a squirter. We ride out the rest of a semi-shitty translation of a film in a dopamine haze of sex and paranoia. Our adrenals were fucked. The film ends. Cuts to black. Flicks blue then blank. We make sure we are the last couple leaving the theater because we look like hurricane evacuees. Disheveled. Soaked. She nuzzles into me as we just lounge back waiting for people to leave so we can collect ourselves and make our way down the stairs. She says that was much easier to get away with than I thought, and looking down at my crotch says I can't wait for round 2 later. I just can't get enough. I'm starving. I go for food or sex. Both. We laugh and she asks if anyone saw her fucking or sucking because she honestly couldn't see anything the whole time. My eyes dart towards the frat brothers and say I think the guys below us saw during the BJ, but I was eyeballing them the rest of the time and not one peep. People continue to file out and now she is nervous because frat brothers are taking their sweet-ass time to be the last to leave the theater. Of course. They have to walk across their row and past us to get out. She's shyly eyeing them and I'm full cheesing Johnny Shining style, chanting be cool, be cool. They shuffle past and just a little synchronized sideways stare is all we get out of them. She lets out a sigh of relief. A little laugh. I'm glad they saw. I like being bad. My heart dungeon dropped as I wondered what exactly that meant and about all the possibilities of round 2. I honestly would have bro-fisted both of them, I was so pumped. But now with the task of getting out of the theater and down to her SUV it seemed like mission impossible. Standing up, my legs were jelly and my pants are soaked in spots with who knows what. It was Vietnam in that theater. Barely could discern the details, but just know we ended up fucked. Gotta make it to the car. One small step for man. One at a time. Then one giant fuckfest for mankind. I can do this. We make it out of the theater, and as we get to the lobby it hits me that I don't know when round 2 is going to begin, but this is my best chance to drain the main vein because I have to piss like a motherfucker after the most intense action movie of my life. A little background to our Tinderella. Not only is Tindergarten apparently a freak, but she told me when we were texting before the date that she was also bi. Now I thought she was just being sexy for the sake of playing to male fantasy and talking a big sexting game. But no, she legitimately dated women. As in she had only been with a few other guys and much preferred dildos, strap-ons, and tribbing. Now as a fully functioning red-blooded American male, this gave me pause. WTF is tribbing? Wikipedia Wilson gave me the answer. Of course, scissor me timbers. Scissoring. Now if that wasn't the hottest conversation to embark upon during sexting and tit pics. I ask her what the tribbing is and to describe that for me. Good f***ing call Senitio Heiler. Apparently the perfect way to scissor is in a bed with 2 of those upright armrest study pillows from Bed Bath & Beyond or whatever your favorite pillow supple store is, and to set them up opposite each other. Then use those to prop up against and use as something to push against as the 2 chicks focal grind their pussies like they're trying to create f***ing fire. Prometheus be damned. They don't need no man. After thinking about this with a huge heart-on, she wryly added, why do you think girls experiment so much in college and why those upright pillows are included in every dorm kit must-have list? Now I generally don't believe in coincidences, but son of a bitch. A pussy conspiracy? This is too perfect. Thank you corporate lesbianic gods, Dionysus, you must be their king. I mean 1,000 count Grecian cotton sheet supply store and sexual corruption sounds right up his furry little alley. Enter bathroom. I strut into the theater bathroom like the fucking Terminator. I am a golden god and I just reek of sex. This is shaping up to be a fantastic day. I pull up to the urinal, unzip and let loose. As I feel the weight of a full bladder slowly deflate, I glance down and just stop, dumbfounded, staring at my cock. My Darth helmet is fucking spotted with purplish black blue spots. A fucking half-painted camo Darth Vader cosplay abomination. So confused I actually clenched and stopped pissing, unleashing the pain of 1,000 searing suns in my urethra. What the fuck is wrong with my dick? Do I need a hospital? I panic. Frozen in shock, terror, and sadness. Man down. My one-eyed purple people eater was purple. And he had a fucking black eye. I have been chafed after sex. I have had teeth scrapes from an inexperienced Frostysaurus cheese grater. I had even bruised my dick on the shaft before from a certain intense kung fu 5-finger death grip whack-off session. But my dick has never looked like it went 10 rounds with Mike fucking Tyson. What the fuck happened? I calm down and assess the situation as I continue to pee. Well, my dick can pee. So my dick is theoretically still functioning. This is a good sign. I try to inconspicuously peer closer and study my leopard dick. Micro-bruising. When she hoovered my dick during one of the intense slurping sessions in the theater, she focused directly on the head as I was mid-tribute to Paul Walker. At the time everything felt fan-fucking-tastic. Such an intense feeling coupled with the moment I was so jacked up I didn't feel capillaries exploding as she did her best snake venom sucking technique. No. Only pure pleasure town dash. But now that I was staring at a dick that resembled Rocky 1-4, my body decided to tell me, oh yeah, stick your dick hurts. Thanks bro. What now? I don't think Tindergarten is in the mood for a spot of spotted dick. Pain I can deal with. Convincing a chick that she didn't suck some Frankenstein penis in a dark movie theater and now in the cold harsh light of day doesn't want anything to do with it even with a 20.5-foot pole is another matter entirely. I'm in a pickle. I zip up, walk towards the sink in a daze and wash up, and gingerly walk out of the bathroom. The golden god just discovered his Achilles heel. She's waiting in the lobby next to the boutique ice cream stand and gives me a big mischievous grin. I manage a shifty grin back because we both share such a delicious kinky little secret that only us among all these people know. Though she still doesn't know I have a dark spotted secret of my own. We head out of the theater into a blast of sunlight, humidity, and heat. One step at a time we make it to her SUV and we climb in. She immediately turns to me with the biggest grin just plastered cheek to cheek and gushes that was so hot. I can't believe we got away with that. She leans in for a kiss before buckling up and whispers you were so f***ing sexy. I can't wait to have more of your dick later. Perfect. I kiss her back and say I can't wait either, though I might need some time to recover from that blowjob. That was pretty intense. Oh, you like that? I have such an oral fixation. I love to suck things. She winks at me. Yeah. I thought it was so hot how you attacked me with all that enthusiasm, not much experience with guys. This revelation murkily swayed through my head and I blurted out, well damn. You give a pretty amazing head for someone who has only dated women this past year. I'm impressed, and in pain. Well, a warm cock in your mouth is much hotter than a strap-on. I loved how different it felt and tasted. Better than the last girl's glass dildo. This explains so much. Oh. Hi, yeah, you were a little rough. Huge f***ing understatement. A look of concern flickers through her eyes. Did I just f*** up? Was it bad? No. In fact, that was the most intense orgasm from a BJ I've ever had. It's just that. Moment of truth, I'm a tad bruised. The silence is deafening. I mean, it doesn't hurt. I just don't want you to freak out when we fuck later. Hail Mary, full of grace, let me f*** again today. She slowly smiles as the concern fades from her eyes. I'll be more gentle then. She throws the SUV into reverse. Touchdown. Crisis averted. Food break for refueling. Nice little pizza joint on the river of an upscale town center. Exploring through some mural-led tunnels as we walk along the river and dusk settles. We make out and we both are getting increasingly horny. I am thankful for the night so my purple-hearted wounded warrior won't be as noticeable. She says let's go back to my SUV, have the perfect place in mind where we can lay the seats flat and fuck like animals. This perfect place turns out to be the church parking lot of a summer camp attached to the property of the upscale township's country club. As if Caddyshack met Jason Voorhees at Camp Crystal Lake and fucked like stars. We park in between some street lamps at the back of the parking lot, nestled between a deserted park lot and the woodland of the surrounding camp/country club. We get it on. We both jump into the back of her SUV. With the seats down, it's huge. The size of a double bed. Our clothes tornado all over the entire back of the SUV. I immediately want to go down on her. Give some oral reciprocation for the Action Jackson blowjay she gave me in the theater. I kiss down her thighs as she lays back, spread eagle, completely naked over the bent-over middle seat. Her head resting on the center console, perfectly nestled between the armrests of the two front seats. She's locked and loaded, and when I hit her pussy it's like a f***ing water rodeo. She is sopping wet and delicious. And every stroke of my tongue makes her buck her hips against my face and just moan. I continue to lick and nibble and flick and kiss, bringing her closer and closer to climax as she gets louder and wetter until in one simultaneous motion she grabs my hair and pulls my face towards her pussy, burying my tongue deep inside her as she gushes all over my face. Houston, we have a squatter again. I am so turned on and rock hard. This girl is amazing. She is shaking and pulsing below me. Her pussy just glistening in the half-reflected light bleeding through her murdered-out tinted windows and the open moon roof above. If this is heaven, I'll take it. I'm sure I'm staring down at her like an idiot when she says, I want your cock inside me, now. I don't need any more invitation. Thoughts of bruised and swollen manhood are gone. When a chick like that gives you a command, you do it or die trying. I grab a nifty Lifestyles SKYN condom out of my pants. Gold wrapper like a magnum thinner than atoms. Fucking feels cosmic on your cock. I slam into her without even meaning to because she is so fucking wet. We water wrestle all over the back of her SUV from position to position, finally ending with me helms deep inside her, climaxing over and over as my eyes glaze over staring at her bouncing tits. I can feel her pulsing around me and it is amazing. We lay back next to each other, splayed out wet and sweaty and exhausted in the back of her SUV, just listening to the night sounds and content. She starts to slowly touch herself and lean up on an arm and stare at me dead in the eyes and slowly and directly says the most beautiful 8 words I have ever heard in my life: "You can do anything you want to me." I pause a beat. Anything? Mischievous grin. Anything. Fireworks explode in my brain, spelling out anal. That means anal. The rational part of my brain whispers that that idea sounds logistically difficult and potentially messy in the back of this, at this point, steaming, cramped SUV. The rational part of my brain proceeds to second-guess himself and punch himself repeatedly in the nuts and say, "Fuck it." I say, "Spin over, I know you have been wanting it all night." She turns around and sticks her ass up high in a downward-facing dog position and proceeds to look back at me and grin and begin to do the same pussy-scooping technique from the theater, except this time lubing up my cock and then massaging and lubing her asshole. Just start slow. I can't fucking believe this is happening. I assume the position where, because of the gap between the 2 rows of seats, she is elevated a good 6 inches above my feet so that when I crouch down into a squat position I am perfectly angled to use a slow decelerated controlled descending squat to slowly and ever so lovingly micro-insert myself in her ass. I have never experienced the perfect form-fitting body meld that occurred, but because of the crazy angle and the ability to hold all of my weight in the squat position, I was able to deliciously millimeter descend into her asshole until I was hilt deep and she was quivering and moaning every second of the way there. Almost indescribable pleasure as finally she loosened up to allow me to do the best feeling squat workout as I dungeon dropped in and out of her ass until we both climaxed again in an earth-shatter pile. Just one contorted ball of sweat and cum I pulled out with a satisfying pop as I passed the ballon knot, and we just lay there quivering and fucked. Circuits fried and systems halted and caught fire. System shut down, engaged. I am still laying there, eyes half shut, while I feel her stir and can hear a rising panic in her voice as she goes, "Oh fuck, who is that?" I prop up on an elbow and look out the middle window, and a tiny little golf cart with a shitty blue and yellow LED swirling dome light is approaching the SUV. Fuck. Who is that? Maybe they will go away. The cart gets closer and closer until it stops right next to the side of the SUV. A hefty blob rolls out of the cart, and the guy who ate the Texas Ranger grabs a flashlight on his belt and starts shining it at the SUV, trying to peer inside. We freeze and play possum. I can hear him call out, "Hello, anyone there?" as Tindergarten continues mumbling, "Oh no no no," over and over, getting louder and panicky as he gets closer to the window. I shush her and point to the open moonroof and say, "He'll hear you." She snaps her mouth shut and I confidently, mostly to convince myself, say to her, "He can't see us through the tint. Maybe he'll go away." He leans in and repeats, "Hello, anyone there?" as he shields his eyes and shines his light through the middle window directly at us. Sprawled bare ass naked below him. We play dead. I crack an eye and squint up at his face, past his Magnum PI stash and into his beady little eyes. I stare, waiting to see a flicker of recognition that he sees my bare white ass illuminated under his flashlight, or hoping, praying that the tint holds up. Nothing. My fear boner is strong. Tindergarten is a broken I can't get arrested record on repeat. He slowly backs away and Statch enters his golf cart, pulls an interminably long 15-point K-turn and starts to drive away, only to circle around and park directly behind the SUV. Fuck. I sit up. He's blocking us in. He pulls out a notepad and scribbles down the license plate and grabs his radio and radios something in. Steady! We keep playing possum. He starts his cart, turns around and begins to drive off. We have a wind down. Tindergarten and I explode into action. We scrub the mission. We need to GTFO of there. ASAP. She's panicking. I tell her to put on her clothes and we need to get the fuck out of there. She can't get her clothes together. She says, I'll drive like this. I stare at her tits. You can't drive, Tolo. She gapes at me, tits out, legs open, her brain does not compute. Move! I'll drive. I slam my briefs on and my pants. Rip the belt off like Zorro because ain't nobody got time for that shit. Base jump jellyfish over the console and eels slide down the seat right into driving position. Move her heels out from under the pedals and slam that bitch into our. And floor it. I whip through the back lot and onto the main country club road. I turn right by the golf cart as it was turning into the lot next to the clubhouse. Statch spins a UEY and lights us up with his little dome light. I throw a thumbs up through the moonroof and just let out a burst of laughter. Tension screeching out of an overinflated balloon. Tindergarten is still in shock. Though naked and buckled, and as I weave through the country club roads. Safety first. I slow down as I near the exit, put my blinker on as I turn onto the main road. See the flashing blue and yellow of Statch fading into the distance behind a wall of trees. Then as I turn to look forward, I pass by a cop car rolling towards the country club. Fuck. I keep going and we pass right by each other. I keep rolling and once he turns into the club I book it. Tindergarten has snapped out of her fugue and is directing me down side streets as she struggles to contain her bouncing tits in her shirt as I whip lefts and rights as fast as possible to put as my distance between us and the police. We find a safe spot and just laugh the tension away. I mean deep, real belly laughs. Holy fuck, that was close. I say, what's the big deal though? It's not like we are underage. They can't call our parents for having underage sex. She stares at me. It's illegal to have sex in your car. My eyes get wide. No fucking way. I was so cavalier back there. Yes you were. I don't believe her, so I look it up. Wikipedia Wilson to the rescue. Yep. Told you so. Wait, foul? Holy shit. We just broke like 2 sex laws. SUV anal. Why do you think I was freaking out? That means someone in Texas fucked a duck or something. Well, till. I drive us back to the mall where I left my truck. I get out still shirtless and scavenger hunt for the rest of my clothes around her SUV. Tindergarten thanks me for the overall amazing evening with a little nibble on my neck and kiss on the lips. Then says I have never been so respectfully pounded, winks and gets in her SUV and drives off. I stand there in the deserted mall parking lot. Plastic bags blow like tumbleweeds. I look up at the brightening sky and revel in the moment. Then I get in my truck, crack a window, slam on some tunes more chill appropriate for the long drive and contemplation of what the fuck all just went down. Reach for the Baja Blast and sip the thin watery blue remnants as I drive off across Houston into the rising sun. I made it home alive and wired and with probably the best Tinder story I will ever have. But no arrests, no diseases and a lot of memories. Can't beat it.